It is July 21st, 2025, and a top secret project at Area 51 has spawned what some are calling an invisible enemy. This is Inverted World Live. What is up, everybody? I am your host, Shane Cashman. This is Inverted World Live, and you might have seen me struggling on where to put my drinks before we went live. They're in the way. They didn't look good, you know?
I felt that people needed to see it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, man, there's just crazy stories today, but you guys who are new here, this is a call-in show. Our phone lines will be open. We'll be here till midnight. If you have some crazy story you want to tell us, any encounter with something of the unknown, a thought about spirituality, demons, mind control, cryptids, you name it, we are here. We've had some amazing callers. Last Thursday, we had some really great callers. I want to thank everyone for calling in, for liking, for sharing, for subscribing. It's been great. We are so happy to have you guys here. I'm looking forward to talk to you guys tonight. I am joined once again by Brandon.
What is up, everybody? What's up, Shane? Good to be back. Thanks to everybody that reached out. Everything's all good. Appreciate you guys. Back in the chair, ready to get weird, so let's get into it.
Yeah. And thank you to Alex for filling in.
It was big great. Thanks to Alex. I owe you.
And we had 6'7" Kevin on the show last Thursday, where we were talking about Area 51 as well. And that was a really fun episode. He released his documentary with Timcast today. It streamed for free earlier on Tim Pool's Rumble channel, and now it's up there, I believe, behind a paywall. It's called Sin Frontera. We talked to Kevin about it on the show. He was here for the phone calls. It's amazing. I highly recommend everyone checking that out. He went and talked to like death cults and talked about what's going on at the border, fentanyl, the cartels. We talked about how there were like 30 political assassinations in Mexico just last year. Children being absorbed into the cartels. He witnessed beheadings. So please check out his documentary. He's a really good dude. He's a great storyteller. And we had a great time talking to him here in the room. We talked about his other stuff that he's done, which is also on YouTube. He talked about the mole people beneath Las Vegas, interviewing homeless people across the country. So it's really good on the ground reporting that we don't get a lot of these days, at least not that we can trust. Highly recommend checking it out and seeing his take on everything. But Area 51 we talked about last Thursday, and lo and behold, it's back in the news over the weekend and more articles today. So I couldn't avoid that. It's pretty interesting to see all these Area 51 stories popping up. But let's get into it, because this is fascinating. So there's a ton out there, but this is from Unilad. And this is from, I think this one's from today. Area 51 staff reveal top secret project permanently altered man's DNA while others were killed by invisible enemy. A number of Area 51 veterans have spoken out about their health after working at the site. An Area 51 veteran has claimed that a top secret project permanently altered his DNA, while others were allegedly killed by an invisible enemy. Located in southern Nevada, Area 51 is often associated with alleged unidentified flying objects, with many conspiracy theorists even claiming it's where the U.S. government harbors alien life. We know that's also in Washington, D.C. It's the home to a highly classified U.S. Air Force base that's located within the Nevada Test and Training Range, also known as NTTR, and no one really knows what goes on there. However, Area 51 veterans are now hitting out at the government, claiming they were handed a death sentence without their knowledge by working at the site. David Crete, a former Air Force sergeant who'd served at the NTTR from 1983 through 1987, runs a campaign group called The Invisible Enemy. And here we have a photo. The veterans worked at Area 51, and it's overlooking that. And you might remember last week we discussed wildfires encroaching around Area 51. They call it the Gothic Fire, and I believe as of last week it was like 30 or 40,000 acres burning very close. As per News Nation, this is a nonprofit fighting for government transparency, pushing for legislation that would provide medical treatment and compensation for military personnel and their families who are exposed to contamination at the Nevada Test and Training Range. Crete, who is one of a number of veterans speaking out, has claimed that over 490 people have died from severe illness since working at the facility. That's a lot of people. At the House Veterans Affairs Committee earlier this year, Crete said that his time at the base permanently altered his DNA. He explained, "My wife had 3 miscarriages. One of the guys that I worked with, his wife, had 7. All 4 of my children were born with birth defects or significant health problems. It's not their fault. I'm not saying it's mine, but I brought it home. It was my DNA that was permanently altered from the low-dose, long-term ionizing radiation exposure," he says. There are many other veterans who have been impacted. Oh, my phone is acting up. Impacted by this invisible enemy, as it is believed their illnesses are a result of being exposed to radiation while working. Crete hosted a reunion barbecue in 2016 and invited his fellow Air Force friends to his Las Vegas home in what was a revealing day. Veteran Randy Groves said that he had a lump on his back, prompting Crete to open up about his own experiences after having a grapefruit-sized tumor removed from his back. He said the large lump was just one of more than 20 lymphomas on his body, while it's believed that 8 people around the table that day had reportedly developed tumors. The U.S. Department of Defense is said to be denying Crete and many other veterans who have worked at Area 51 because their records are data masked, meaning they are unable to get access to Veterans Affairs, which provides essential health care to eligible military veterans. Unilad has reached out to the Air Force for a comment, and I don't believe we have a comment yet. But that is a very wild story.
So wait, the Department of Defense basically just told him it's not a tumor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, nice. Good reference. Basically, and this is a long history in our government of doing such things. I mean, we've seen how Agent Orange impacted families after Vietnam, and they denied these people help. And so we don't have to go into it, but we did look at the article from last week about people saying they got really sick from burn pits at Area 51, where they were burning some sort of material probably associated with Lockheed Martin technology, paints for their crafts. I believe some people watching had some issues with that story, because I think the person saying they were doing the burning was using diesel, and that, I think, had set off an alarm in some audience members, saying that doesn't make much sense. And I have not looked into that yet, but it is interesting to keep in mind when you're talking about this stuff. But it's definitely not outside the realms of possibility that there's a ton of toxic materials in the vicinity of Area 51, around it, below it.
Well, yeah, you're talking a massive airspace owned by the U.S. government. I mean, why wouldn't you? I would be bringing shit in from other states and dumping it there. You know what I'm saying? It's a perfect place to dump all this shit.
It's just a giant landfill for everything America does, for what our Department of Defense does.
I mean, it's not that far-fetched to think about, really.
No, not at all. I don't think so. I think maybe, I don't know that guy's particular story. I want to look into his lawsuit and where it ended up, because that story, I believe, was from the early 2000s. But now we have this news story that does sort of corroborate what he was talking about, except now these guys have way more severe health issues. I mean, it's 490 people they're saying are claiming died. That's a lot of people to die from what they claim is happening because of some top secret project that we don't know about, like all the things that go on out there. And then on top of that, we have this Gothic fire. What is it doing? Is it getting rid of evidence? Is it just a normal wildfire?
Is it hanging out in front of Hot Topic at the mall? Yeah,
The Gothic fire. Yeah. Is it me from the late 90s? I'm sure some of you have seen those photos online. It is very possible. That was also, I had toxic stuff in my spiky hair back then. But I
think we all did.
This fire, it must be, if it's getting close enough, and I think it is, because it's such a large area that they test on, and I think, like you were saying, throw stuff away on, that must also be burning crazy stuff up and going in the atmosphere. It's hard to tell what's going on. I'm curious if this is going to go anywhere. My gut says it's probably there's going to be a settlement. It's not going to go to court. We're not going to see some hearings about it, which would be great because I think we'd like that. But like we know when someone like Tiny calls in, the firefighter who had different calls at Fort Detrick out here in Maryland, they keep these things under wraps.
Oh yeah, and he told us about all the crazy shit that's going on there.
Yes.
Obviously burning the monkeys. It's not Tuesday yet, so we haven't gotten that far into the week yet. But he told us that was a thing that they did there.
Yeah, and there's like who knows what else they have going on there that they can't. They were saying that they would rather take care of it themselves than have firefighters.
Right, and if that's a disposal site, then maybe this is another site where they're dumping, God knows what. So who knows?
Or they're burning demon bodies out there. Who knows? But I think it's fascinating that Area 51 is just all in the news so much again. We know Skunk Works is out there in Area 51. We know that's Lockheed Martin's like side thing where they are building all this wild technology. I actually pulled up one of their things. We don't have to show them, but you guys can find it. Let me see where this is. This is on Lockheed Martin's website. This is just experiments in a digital age, the Navy's version of Area 51. This is basically asking you if you have any good ideas, you should hit them up. But you probably know Area 51 is the Air Force's famed Nevada-based testing ground. What you may not know is the Navy's submarine community is experimenting with its own version of futuristic technology in a small mock control room near Washington, D.C., dubbed Area 51. So this is another offshoot of Lockheed Martin's Area 51. And
is this it?
I think this is it. Yeah, good. Nice. So how did Lockheed Martin's Area 51 come about? Around 4 years ago. So this is the new one. But it's just funny to me that they use the same name. Navy industry teams worked in a classified research lab in Manassas, Virginia. We're looking at ways to apply technology like multi-touch tables, tablets, Xbox controllers, Kinect, and Google Earth to advance the systems already on board a submarine. While the technology was off the shelf, the projects were kept secret. Before long, Lockheed Martin engineers started calling the space Area 51, of course. This is Area 51 2.0 for these guys. Here, tech-savvy sailors deeply familiar with submarine controls work alongside Lockheed Martin engineers to optimize and streamline technologies on board Navy submarines. But basically, I'm not going to read this whole thing. This is them asking you guys if you have any good ideas for Area 51.
Hit us up.
You can hit up. You can join their team below. You can also hit their Facebook and Twitter page. But as we know, after talking to Sergeant Payton, we've got U-boats beneath the country in like Louisiana, I think in Texas it was, and Long Island. And we got Area 51, Lockheed Martin submarines probably doing the same thing. Who knows what is going on out there, people? I don't know, but I'm curious again, like why it's all coming out now. Is it ramping up to a larger story? Like I've been saying, it feels like we're getting to a breaking point. We were just talking on IRL before I ran over here about people's disinterest, widespread disinterest. The news is getting too much for people. I'm sure, Brandon, maybe you've experienced in your life, but like a ton of people who got really politically motivated up till the last election are now tuned out. And like the alien extraterrestrial UFO disclosure stuff seems to have gone through this parallel trajectory of there's a ton of news and a lot of people are just like tapping out. Like they don't seem to have much interest. I mean,
I've got multiple handfuls of people that I'm noticing on social media, people I haven't even talked to in a couple of years that now have become their own experts on politics. But I don't see a lot of people becoming experts on anything else now.
Right.
So it's like they're a lot of these people are really, really locked in to what's going on with the government and with ICE raids and things like that. They're not looking at anything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, a lot of this stuff would go unnoticed. If it weren't being brought up in any other platform.
Yep. And now we have Area 51, this like monumental conspiracy theorist hub is back in the news. I don't see people talking about this all that much, but I think it's actually a pretty big story. Whether or not it's true, we don't know yet. I personally hope they don't settle. I'm sure they will, but I'd like to see some, actual people talking about it.
This is a Christmas gift for people like me and Shane.
Yeah.
And I unfortunately was back in Chicago, as some of you know, last week when this happened, and it was the first thing I saw the morning that I woke up in Chicago, and I was like, oh, God damn it, I'm not going to be there for this. Are you kidding me? And I just knew that Shane was just over here like...
I couldn't believe it. That was a day where I actually had no idea what we were going to talk about, and then that one just fell out of the sky. I'm like, you're kidding me. Area 51's on fire.
It was the first thing I saw when I got back, and I looked at my phone, and I go, oh, you got to be shitting me. Like, I just left.
And then it's, like I was saying earlier with the fires, I do believe there are chemicals all around Area 51 from decades of these experiments and what they've been doing. And now these fires are taking care of that and spreading in the atmosphere. Like I mentioned when you weren't here, when I was in East Palestine with the train wreck and they blew up the train car and literally they called it inverted the atmosphere. And then it took a few weeks for that dust to go across like east towards us, and some of that dust landed on my car, and they told us then it's just dust, it's just sand from the southwest. Clearly it wasn't, and then a year later they said, well, it did move this way. So like, what is this stuff doing? And I'm sure it's not the only stuff.
Well, there was a dust storm in Chicago.
Yeah.
Actually, like a month or two ago.
Interesting.
Which I've been there for 30 something years. I've never seen like a dust storm come through Chicago, like the magnitude of what this was.
How
no
bad?
One has any. It was. Hang on, I'm gonna find it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna find it because the pictures that I was seeing here on my social media, I couldn't believe it. It looked like it was AI generated, but I was calling people back home, and they're like, "Yeah, no, this shit is everywhere."
Whoa, interesting.
Yeah,
last week we were talking about the doomsday clouds. The weather's been weird. No one can deny that. People out there, it's normal weather patterns. I think something's up. West Virginia's been pounded. I mean, with flood warnings, this crazy amount of rain, and I have theories on all that. But the clouds have been getting more nefarious as the days go on. And the dust clouds, I did not even know Chicago was impacted by that. And it's like what they were telling us last year with the or 2 years ago with East Palestine. It's just normal. I'm like, really though? Really?
And this, you can't see this that great, I don't think. I have to resize some of this stuff.
Oh, wow. Is that real?
This was taken in the suburbs.
Is that a real town?
Yeah.
Is this where Beetlejuice is from?
Yeah. I got to look and see exactly what town this is.
Wow.
'Cause it's not showing out here. But this was one of the pictures that I saw reported from the West Burbs. And it was just this massive, ominous dust cloud rolling through the entire thing. And I'm trying to find the one of downtown Chicago when it got hit, because it was one of the most ridiculous pictures I've ever seen in my life. It almost didn't even look real.
And in all your life in Chicago, how many dust storms have you seen?
None. Not a single one.
And what did the news say? Were they saying this is just normal? Were they writing it off?
No, I mean, I obviously, like, I'm not really tapped into the news back home that much anymore. Unfortunately, now it's all about out here and political shit. But a lot of people were just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like there
bizarre.
was no real crazy overreaction to it, but it was also just like, are you kidding me?
Super bizarre.
They call it the Windy City, but it's because of politicians. And Tim will defend that until the day he dies. But realistically, it does get kind of windy there.
Right.
And especially out in the burbs, it gets pretty gusty. And the first night that I was back there, we actually did get a windstorm that came through there and ripped a bunch of tree branches and everything down in the burbs. Shit was laying everywhere, and it was just gone like that. Just some crazy ass high wind cell.
Interesting.
That came through town. So there's been some really weird shit going on back there weather-wise.
And that, back to the Area 51 thing, it's like, what if there's something else like way worse than what they're like? What is the top secret project? Are they bioengineering something? Like the way they're phrasing,
pulling Operation Weathergate. Like,
right? Like what are they making out there? Is it, I've seen people say maybe this is some sort of alien tech, and I don't know about that, but they do make crazy stuff out there. Maybe it's not tech. Maybe it's some sort of bioweapon. The way they're phrasing it as this invisible enemy, this crazy illness. The rates of sickness are bizarre, and maybe they've actually opened up Pandora's box with something we don't even know, some sort of like gain of function thing that they can't tell us about, because there's a lot of stuff going on out there. But man, let's go to the Bohemian Grove story before we get to callers. This isn't that crazy, but considering how we had a whole Bohemian Grove episode, and maybe tonight we will have our caller, the chef. He might show up, I hope so, but we did a whole episode with a chef who worked at Bohemian Grove. I think that was a few months ago. And he had some wild stories about working out there. This guy, the chef, he actually climbed this owl. And he's been there to see the debauchery. He lived at their location I think it was in San Francisco. A lot of weird stories there. I highly recommend that episode. Super weird. But now we have this new Bohemian Grove story that will probably not shock many of you. But here we go. In the San Francisco gate, billionaire at Bohemian Grove told staff to clean his underwear by hand. The famous Bohemian Grove encampment, which draws some of the richest and most powerful American men to the Sonoma County redwoods every July, recently settled a wage theft lawsuit brought by 3 of its employees, but not before some embarrassing allegations came to light. 3 Bohemian Grove employees sued the nonprofit Bohemian Grove and related companies in 2023 for allegedly violating California labor laws, such as by not providing meal breaks and not paying the minimum wage during the event, which is restricted to men. I wonder if there's a union. Have the Bohemian? I got to ask the chef that the Bohemian Grove staff, have they unionized against the evil globalists out there? The nearly 150-year-old party is shrouded in mystery, but it takes place in a 2,700-acre camp outside Monterrey along the Russian River and lasts about 3 weeks before ending with a rumored burning of a human effigy and a giant owl. We know that's not rumored. We've seen the footage. Shout out to Alex Jones. He got in there a while ago. And our chef, when he called in, talked about how they have like the sounds of, I think it was the sounds of screaming, and also some guy narrating it through a giant loudspeaker coming out of the owl.
It's not at all terrifying.
The 3 employees, Sean Granger, Anthony Gregg, and Waleed Saad, said they were forced to work close to 100 hours per week during the event, but were instead instructed by their employers to only clock in 40 hours, according to a November 23 filing. Gregg also said he was mocked by club members for complying with a request from famous billionaire William Koch to hand wash his underwear. And there we have a picture of Koch. You might know him from the Koch brothers, major political figures. William Bill Koch is a billionaire industrialist and the twin brother of David Koch, a fellow billionaire and Republican mega donor. Both men inherited part of their father's company, Koch Industries, although Williams sold his shares in the 1980s. Forbes currently estimates Williams' net worth to be $2 billion. A guy who's probably used to having his underwear washed by hand, right?
These guys shadow fund a lot of shit.
A lot.
They shadow fund a lot of shit. They've been doing it for a really long time.
Yep.
And these, man, dude, like if I go missing in the next couple of weeks, it's because I was talking shit about the Koch brothers. But they're just, I genuinely don't trust these guys.
Well, at least
the whole Citizens United thing and. Just all this money funneling and then trying to keep it a secret. It's just like, come on, man. Like, I don't know. These, when I say they and them and this kind of shit, this is who I'm talking about. Because I see people in chat asking all the time, well, who's they though? Who's they though? These are some of they.
Yeah.
Like,
I think,
right here.
They's an amorphous thing. To me, it's the false idol worshippers. And the Kochs are weird. But if we know if Brandon goes missing, guys, he'll at least be alive, washing underwear by hand.
Just look for my hat. They'll leave the hat behind. It always happens. Scooby-Doo is always a clue.
Brad Goldstein, a spokesperson for William Koch, denied the allegations regarding underwear washing in an interview with SF Gate Friday. He said that it was likely just an attempt to pressure the club's owners into paying a settlement. There's no dates given in the alleged incident. There's no detail, period, Goldstein said. And given the fact that Mr. Koch is not a member of the club and is always confused with his brother, I doubt the veracity of the claim. So are they blaming his brother? It was the other guy. It was my twin. It was my evil twin. William Koch was not named as a defendant in the lawsuit. His name was originally redacted from the legal filing, but a reporter with the Press Democrat was able to unredact his name by copying and pasting the filing's text into a separate document. Wow. SF Gate was able to recreate the Press Democrat's finding, revealing William Koch's name through the same method. So this is like funny, not that crazy Bohemian Grove story. But if the chef is out there and he's able to call in, it'd be great if you could give us your take on this. I love the episode we did with him where he told us all these wild, debaucherous stories and just how odd it is out there. And, I always love the Alex Jones story about him getting in there. And the Bohemian Grove stuff, I always liked how that story evolved with Alex Jones over time because a lot of people were like, well, Alex Jones, he's crazy. He does all this stuff, but he did do Bohemian Grove and he showed us the footage. And then over time, he was like, he believes he was actually let in. Someone was looking to undermine the Grove from within and they let him in. And I always liked that he had kind of changed that perspective from someone who was able to sneak in to, maybe it was possible that he was allowed in through this strange circumstance of someone within, like a mole, trying to undermine the Grove, which makes it all the more nefarious, I think. And I appreciate that extra angle to the story, but it's weird out there, and they have a lot of strange stuff going on. And I won't quote what Nixon said about Bohemian Grove, but I highly recommend you all Google what Nixon said about Bohemian Grove. I can't say it on YouTube.
Oh, God,
but
I want to read it now.
you should read it. Pull it up. Pull it up. Well, we can read a sanitized version. I mean, it's fine.
Hang on, let me scope it out first.
I'll let you read it. I read it last time on this show, but I cleaned it up a bit. But it's great. After, I think he said this after he read it. You read your version. You read your version.
I mean, it's one of the things we're not supposed to say.
Just leave out the one word. Just clean it up. You can use like tiny dancer instead of the F word.
I mean, I can use words that rhyme with it, right?
There you go.
Most laggy, goddamn thing, but the word is not laggy. You guys work that out on your own. Don't have it be like that South Park episode with Randy saying the wrong word publicly.
Yeah, he did not like it. He did not like it. A lot of people have been going there. It is a Republican sort of thing. A lot of Republicans have gone. He went. He gave a speech. He gave that quote afterwards. It's a good one. Nixon's a pretty funny guy.
That was actually really good.
Yeah. Well, if we have some callers, I'd love to get to callers.
Yes, we have plenty of people to get to.
Sick.
So let's...
Well, thank you guys for calling in. Again, shout out to everyone who's waiting. We will try to get to as many as possible, but if we don't get to you, I promise we will be here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Brandon's been great at taking names and trying to get to you if we've missed you the night before. But yeah, we'll be here till midnight. Love your phone calls and love your stories. Let's get to it.
Kicking ass, taking names. Don't forget, like, subscribe, follow, share. Yeah. And let's get on the phone. I want to go to... let's go to Candy RK. Did that? Is this it? Yeah. Candy, you're on Inverted World. If you can unmute and say what's up.
Hello.
You guys there?
Yes, we are.
We are.
Hi.
What's up?
What's going on?
Not much. How are you? Thanks for calling in.
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
Great.
We're good.
What's going on?
I'm a little nervous because I don't usually do stuff like this.
Oh, it's all good.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I've actually been born and raised in Las Vegas my entire life.
Nice.
And I'm second generation, so any kind of weird stuff that anyone talks about is usually true. Like 6'7" Kevin, all that stuff you said.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty spot on.
The mole people beneath the city.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Have you ever seen them?
Depends on where you go in town, but you can find out where they're going and where they're like living.
Wow.
Just based on where they bring all their stuff.
Right. That's wild. So
Yeah.
what do you got? You got a story for us?
I have stories. I can also talk about Area 51 a lot.
Let's start with Area 51. What's your thoughts on that?
So, well, my grandfather actually worked for Area 51 for about 25 years.
Wow.
And just about everything he did is still classified, other than the fact that he was a builder on the B2.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Did he talk did he talk about it at all with the family?
Not really. If you ask him, he'll tell you what he can, but the famous question that everyone always asks is, are aliens real? And he still can't tell us.
What does he say? He says, like, you just can't say anything? Or what do you take away from his answer or body language when you ask that?
Well, he's pretty good at hiding that, but he basically will be like, well, if I've told you I have to kill you, that kind of stuff.
Classic. What do you think? You think there's something out there?
Oh, I'm sure there is. I just don't know what it is because I've never seen much.
Right.
Personally.
Did he encounter any weird illnesses after working there for so long?
It's odd that you mentioned that because he's recently been going through a bunch of kidney stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So yeah, he's okay, but it's still kind of crazy. Anyone who's been in Vietnam in my family, they all have some sort of health issues. So
yeah, like Agent Orange stuff.
Absolutely. My husband's father had a bunch of issues too. He's in his he's almost 90, but a lot of them have like horrible issues.
Okay. We got a few questions for you. Let's go back to your father and the kidneys. Has he said anything about this health stuff being related to Area 51?
No, my grandfather has not, but he's very secretive. So if you don't ask him, he's not going to tell you.
Do you know if he's aware of the recent stories that we were discussing on the show?
Probably not, because he basically doesn't want to talk about anything like that.
It would be very interesting if you showed him those stories and gauge his response.
he'd probably actually brush him off.
Interesting. Okay, then let's go to the Agent Orange stuff. How has that affected their health, and has it affected their children?
As far as any of like my cousins or anything, not really. But like my goddad actually, he was in Vietnam. He was actually in Vietnam. He has had colon cancer since he was like 30 something, 35,
Wow.
and he's almost 80. So
Wow. That's so young.
yeah.
That's crazy. So when it comes to, you said it was your grandfather who worked at Area 51?
Yeah, he's my step grandpa, but yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Which is another funny story, but we'll get to that another time.
working for 25 years at Area 51, that's a long time. Like the people I referenced in the story I read, they only worked there for like 5 years. So 25 years, I mean, that's a lot of information to see.
Yeah. Yeah. He, like I said, he's very, very secretive about it because a lot of stuff he did was not declassified, even though they say it as it wasn't.
What do you make of the fire situation out there?
Do you really think it was lightning?
I don't.
I don't either. I think they're burning something for some reason.
Like they're getting rid of something?
Possibly.
And
Can't tell you for sure, but
what does your gut say? This is related to secret technology or something weirder?
it could be, or because it's in the same area where they did all the testing, like all the test site for the bombs and stuff.
That's right.
So it could be poison. It could be something like that. I don't really know. I'm not huge into understanding that, but
Definitely something that shouldn't maybe be burned into our atmosphere.
correct.
So that stinks. Well, that's wild. Great connection to Area 51. And you said you had a story for us?
My mom's actual father, he, I can get into a ghost story real quick if you want.
Please.
Or,
Yeah.
so he passed away when my mom was 11. And in 2014, actually around this time, my aunt passed away. And I was visiting my husband's bar while he was working, and I was in the restroom, and my grandfather came to me. Like, I couldn't see him, couldn't hear him. I just knew it was him. Like, I've never met you before. What are you doing here? And he didn't say a word. And then 3 days later, we found out that my aunt died.
Oh, wow. And
Yeah.
he just came to you, you said in the restroom?
Yeah, I happened to be in the bathroom, and I was washing my hands, and I'm like, why are you here? Like, I could tell it was him. Like, I truly believe in all that stuff, like paranormal. So,
And so it seems like it was a pretty nonchalant encounter.
yeah, he didn't say a word to me. Like, I just felt his presence, and I was like, why are you here? I kept asking him, like, why are you here? And he just couldn't tell me.
And you think because you saw him, that was some sort of like a hint or a clue, perhaps, that you said your aunt was passing away?
Yeah, she actually died that night.
Oh, that night.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it was really freaky.
Was that your first experience with a ghost?
Not necessarily. With my personal family, yes.
Tell us about another one.
I could stick to Vegas if you want, or I could give you something fun.
Let's go fun.
So, do you know where Mansfield, Ohio is?
I've heard of it. I have not been.
It's about an hour, hour and 45, 2 hours south of Cleveland, which is where my husband's from.
Okay.
And the Mansfield State Prison, the original one, is now like a ghost tour thing, but that's where Shawshank Redemption was filmed.
Okay.
And we went there on a tour, and they gave you the option, hey, do you want to go on a tour with everybody, or you can just do your own thing? So we did our own thing. They failed to mention that they're going to turn the lights off at 45 minutes. And we're walking down the stairs. We get stuck. Security's like, are you okay? Whatever. So as we're leaving, about an hour and a half, 2 hours later, we watched several people walk in and out of they call the mansion, which is where all the people worked. And this door shut, just normal. Click, click, click. And then we go to leave. As we walk out the door, it slams shut. And I was like, that's it. It's time to go, babe. And he was like, yeah, you're right. I'm pretty sure they don't want us here anymore.
That's fun.
It was pretty freaky, and that's not super scary, but how weird is that to have the door slam that hard when there's nobody around?
Yeah. Those places like empty state prisons, asylums, old empty hospitals, there's a bad, weird energy in those places.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's funny because the actual prison is like 100 yards away, and you're not allowed to take pictures from the old prison.
Really?
Yeah, because there's active like inmates in the prison next to it.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That is interesting. Yeah. Ohio is a strange place.
It sure is.
Shout out to all our Ohio listeners. I love it there, but it is a strange place. All right. So did you have a ghost story from Vegas as well?
I do. Well, it's not exactly a ghost story, but it relate. You know who Zach Bagans is, right?
No, I don't.
The he used to be on Ghost Hunters, or
Okay.
sorry, Ghost Adventures on the Travel Channel, I think. But he has a
Okay.
museum out here called the Haunted Museum.
Okay.
And the year it opened, I want to say, I think it was 2015 or 16. I might be wrong on that. But the year it opened, my husband was like, "Do you want to go?" I'm like, "Of course." And all the stuff that Zach has collected over the years is like crazy haunted stuff, like from paraphernalia, from murderers up to like shrunken heads, whatever you can think of.
Hmm.
Well, we go on Halloween the opening year, and I literally come face to face with Zach Bagans 7 different times. Like he ended up in my face, and we were like, "What the heck is going on?"
That's weird.
Because I don't know if I'm like the opposite of empath, like negative energy
Hmm.
stays away from me. So people are intrigued by it when they figure it out.
And he was up in your grill?
The first, like I walked into the building as we were on, like getting ready for the tour, and he was in my, like he turned the corner and my nose almost touched his.
That's odd.
It's awkward.
It was
That,
very
that
strange.
is a very awkward situation. So
Yeah.
you sound like someone who might know, have some feelings about Annabelle the doll.
I've never actually personally seen Annabelle, but she's been at that haunted mansion, and you can feel the
Do,
presence of whatever's going on with those dolls.
do you think she killed that guy that just passed away?
Honestly, probably because he's been dealing with that for a long time. So it could be other things, but
I know Shane thinks she did it.
I mean, I have lots of theories. It could be, Annabelle
Yeah.
is a creepy doll, but also I'm like, it would be a great crime to frame Annabelle, you know? And it wasn't
That's true.
Annabelle. It was someone who really didn't like
You think
the
it's
guy.
someone who's trying to get a
Yeah,
hold of the
just
doll
blame
and
the
just,
doll. Could
just
be.
got rid of him?
Yeah. Haunted doll
Well-
politics. There's a lot of drama out there. You know, people, we just earlier, remember how
That,
many
see,
weeks
that would
ago-
be a thing that you would do is get that in there and then throw the conspiracy behind it.
mean-
It's a twofer.
You never know. You never know. It could be. Well, this was a really fun phone call. Before you go, what is something crazy about Vegas that you think people should know about that we don't know about?
I don't.
Whether it's
there's
like a
not
story,
much,
a haunting,
really.
like like are certain hotels, like do they have certain stories, or you stay away from certain
Oh, yeah.
areas?
Pretty much every hotel's got a story. To be honest.
Yeah, it's a weird place. Like going to Vegas kind of feels like going to an empty but filled, haunted, insane asylum.
Yeah, it kind of does.
I like it out there, but like last time I was there, I landed, I was in the car to my hotel, and we just missed a man eating another man's face at a 7-Eleven.
Oh yeah, that was not far from my house.
Oh,
Actually.
nice. Yeah, that was
Wow.
crazy. That was like May, like maybe 2 Mays ago.
Yeah, but you
Wow.
guys were talking about the weather earlier.
Yeah.
We actually just had a flash flood 2 days ago that was only in like one part of town.
Oh, wow. That's weird.
It was only in the very northwest part of town, and people's like pools were flooding over, and they had like 3 inches of water in their backyard.
Oh, strange. What were they blaming that on?
Vegas monsoon season,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I don't believe.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
famous
desert monsoon season.
the famous Vegas monsoon season,
Yeah,
of
I
course.
should have known.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for calling in. That was a lot of fun.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow, we got some Area 51 stories out of that. Man, Agent Orange. Vegas is always good. Insane asylums. We're off to a great start, people. Let's get to another caller.
Dude, you know, the one thing that I noticed about hotels too, you ever see that like a lot of them skip floor 13?
Yeah, they do.
That just 12 to 14. And if you've never noticed that, 13's an unlucky number.
Mm-hmm.
So for all of these hotels to be following that suit, I mean, come on.
It's weird that they're all so superstitious.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like
There's something to it.
I
What's wrong
don't
with hotels?
I honestly I want to delve into it a little bit further one of these days, but
Yeah.
when she said that, it made me think about that. Like, wait a minute, almost all these hotels are doing it like these high rises, and it makes me wonder what the hell happened to any of the hotels that didn't take floor 13 off
Yeah.
of the blueprint.
Has there been a study with hotels with 13
Is there like an
floors?
actual number of these things that have had problems by just having a 13th floor? So
Yeah.
that's something else to look into. Maybe the next Friday the 13th we delve into the 13th
Yeah.
floor hotel situation.
Yes, I think there's a few this year, so we should do it.
Awesome.
Let's do another caller.
All right. Let's see who we got in here. Let's bring on, I want to do another random name here. Copium Poppies.
Okay.
And I can't trust any of these names because I know you guys change them on purpose, so I'll bring you back in. So I'm going to wait so I don't eat my own words here. What is happening? Copium Poppies, you're on with Shane and myself. Welcome to the show. If you can unmute your mic, please. And hopefully I got the gender right this time. Somebody yelled at me for that already.
Oh, man. How dare
I've
you
been
misgender the
guessing.
caller?
As soon as I hear a voice, I switch, okay? It's a hard job.
Fired for misgendering.
I could just leave it on just like right there. Until
Yeah. We got to hear your voice, and then Brandon will decide.
ready, fire, aim, you know? You are
Copium
still
poppies.
muted. Can you unmute, please? Do you hit us?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Damn it, I got it wrong. Yes, we can. Welcome to the show.
Am I echoing?
No, you're good.
Okay, cool. Anyway, how are you guys doing?
We're
Chilling.
great.
What's going on?
Okay. Yeah, I've got a little bit of a. I don't want to say ghost story because I didn't specifically see any ghosts, but it was tied with a Ouija board, and
Oh, man.
so basically what happened was I was about 14 at the time. I just started high school, and I got a new girlfriend within a couple days of starting school and all that. And she told me that her dad was going out of town for a week, so we basically planned for me to quote unquote run away from home and all that. And I went to her house to stay and all that, like while he was gone. And she had a Ouija board, and basically the entire time we were like using it and all that. And like, mind you, I'm skeptical of everything like paranormal, pretty much.
Attaboy.
It's definitely an interest, but I'm still skeptical of it. I'm even skeptical of like this experience, even though I saw it with my own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, like the whole time, like we're basically like, "Are you pushing the planchette?" And going back and forth saying that. And a couple times, admittedly, I was. But basically, like this one night, we go down. Like basically, it's this condo that she was living in, and there's a like the bottom floor, like they had a garage that was separate from the condo, pretty much, and it was turned into like a bedroom / living room. And basically, we were down there one night and all that, and we were talking about like the conversations on the Ouija board, and then like and the lights are off at this point, and like we noticed like this like you know those old timey like projectors where people showed those like boring slideshows and shit.
Yep.
Well, basically, like I noticed this thing on the like wall, like like the opposite side of where we're at. It looked like that, but like you could see like these old tiny like figures like on the wall, like changing into like people from like different time periods. Like the only one I can specifically remember, it looked like the clothing looked like someone from like the French Revolution era or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like I look over at her, I'm like, "Do you see that?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What are you seeing?" And she basically described what I was like seeing. So I'm like, "Oh shit." And then like basically as soon as I was like, "Oh shit," like there's this like lightning arc that came from like the middle of the ceiling, like directly down to the space heater. It was like literally seeing a lightning strike in the middle of a room. There wasn't a light fixture on the ceiling where that arc could have come from. It just went straight from the middle of the ceiling down to the space heater. And as soon as like that happened, we freaked out and left. But yeah, I don't know if there's like some scientific way to debunk that. But
Massive
like,
static charge is about all I can think of. They don't happen that big.
But like immediately before that, we were seeing like basically an apparition on the wall, and like the wall behind us, there was nowhere a projector could have been. Like it was just a blank like wall, no holes in it, nothing. Like it was fucking freaky.
Was there a light source hitting the wall, or did shadows just appear on the wall like you could see?
The room was dark. Like the only like light coming in was from outside, from like the moonlight and like the street lights outside, like in the parking lot. Like there was like nothing that like could have like projected something like that from like that angle and all that. And this was like 2001. It was like just after 9/11 pretty much. So like I don't think like projectors like the ones we have now that can connect to a laptop were available at the time. Like at least like affordable.
No, everything still kind of sucked actually that year. I remember.
Okay, yeah.
Cool.
Like so I don't think it could have been anything like that. So I don't know how to explain that.
How big were the figures?
I would say about 14 inches to 2 feet, or yeah, 2 feet, something like that. Like maybe a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller.
And was it one at a time that kept changing or multiple?
It was one at a time, but it kept like phasing to a different figure from a different like time period, pretty much. Again, the only one I could specifically remember, like the clothing looked like someone from like the French Revolution era, like Marie Antoinette. Like, yeah, like, but it was freaky.
Yeah, that is creepy to see the shadows and then to see the lightning. I thought static
really
as well.
It wasn't really shadows because you could make out like figures and like details and stuff. It wasn't just shapes. Like,
Not just silhouettes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It looked like it was coming from like one of those old timey projectors. Like it wasn't super detailed.
Gotcha.
It was like blurry, but like you could see like details in the clothing and like kind of the faces. But
And afterwards, when you guys kind of corroborated what you were seeing, you left. And what did she go back? Did you go back? Anything else weird happen?
no, after we went back down there later, but nothing ever happened since then. But basically, like as soon as that lightning arc came down, that's when we left and all that. We like, freaked out. Like,
Did it affect anything else in the house? Like was, anything electric weird?
breaker. Like there was no power outage or anything.
Yeah, that's weird. I wish I had an answer for you. That is bizarre. Seeing the things on the wall. I'm sure in the chat they're going to ask, did you guys drink anything? Did you take anything?
Actually, that was before I started like using any substances.
Okay, I was gonna say we've had some of these stories come in the last couple of weeks, and it all ends with but I also ate like a quarter of mushrooms, so I don't know, maybe it was just that.
I do have another one that does have to do with psychedelics, but it was basically after like something happened.
Right.
Like basically this one was basically like back around the like midterm election. Remember when they had that when the eclipse was happening, right? Like on like election day.
Mm-hmm. The recent one.
Yeah, there was a lunar eclipse like the night of election day on the last midterms.
Okay.
But like basically, like I went out like that night to watch the eclipse and all that, and I'm sober at this point. And basically, like it's the middle of the night watching the eclipse, and like there's a power line above the yard where I'm at, and like right then and there, because like I'm like thinking about the election, I'm like, okay, maybe the Democrats are finally gonna get their asses kicked to the curb, and basically then this like owl like immediately flies like up and lands on the power line and all that, and it's a big ass owl, and at that point all you can see is like silhouette and all that. Like I got a picture of him, but it's like really blurry, so you can't really see it. But like like basically they just seemed like a really ominous like sign, pretty much, like because it's happening right during the eclipse and all that. So at this point, like I decided to go inside and all that because the eclipse is basically over at that point. So I like go inside and I have like some DMT left over from like a party I went to, and I'm like, this is as good of a time as any to smoke some DMT. So like basically I have like this like I wouldn't say it's a freaky trip, but like prior to that, like every trip I had was like positive and all that, but this one, like it took like a darker, like more ominous tone, like like have you seen the Alex Gray paintings like where like or like Tool videos like for Vicarious?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, like every time I've done DMT, I go to somewhere that looks like that pretty much at some point during the trip.
Man.
And this time it had like this there was a lot of yellows and blacks, like it looked like a really like it looked like a sick version of what I've seen before. And like as the trip started, before that part kicked in, like I'm sitting in our recording studio / practice space, and there's like cords everywhere, dimly lit, and like basically how the trip started kicking in was like all the cords like started like weaving around like snakes or like dead vines or something, and like they started like basically taking the shape of like the bars of a prison cell, pretty much. And like yeah, because I know you're a Tool fan, Shane.
Love Tool.
So like you've seen the video for Parabola, right?
Yeah.
You know that part where it's transitions from parable to parabola, where you can see the hands like taking that like shape and then pulling out, and it you know what I'm talking about, where it transitions.
Yep.
Okay, well basically like I saw like these like hands come down to grab me, and it looked just like that part of the video and all that, and that's what took me into that like thing I was just describing, where you go into to that place where it's like in the Alex Gray paintings and stuff.
Right.
But
That's why.
and just the entire time, I had this like feeling that like you're not gonna get what you want. And I felt it was like referring to the election and all that. And having just seen that owl like land like right on the power line during the eclipse just seemed like it was telling me something.
Right. Yeah.
And then basically the midterms, there was no red wave or anything like that, and basically got 2 more years, and yeah.
Yep. You saw some sort of symbol warning you, and then you had a bad
But,
trip.
But yeah, basically I looked it up with the owl symbolism and all that, and apparently owls are looked at as a bad omen type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in Twin Peaks, the owls are not what they seem. The owls are not what they appear. But owls do have, some people see them as good luck, but they also have weird, ominous tones to them. I saw a dead owl the night before I flew out to the primary GOP presidential debate in California, actually. And that dead owl gave me such a bad feeling. Nothing bad happened out there other than, I did see a demon. I saw Gavin Newsom at the debate. He was right in front of me, but it was like a dog barking, our neighbor's dog barking. And I was like, what is going on out there? So eventually I went out and there was this giant dead owl in this space between our houses. And it was like, I don't want to go out there now at all. Didn't feel good to see a dead owl.
Dude, actually, crazy thing at the castle, there's, for those that don't know, is one of Tim's places, but the wall is done in illustrations of guests from IRL.
Yeah.
And the night or the day after Cash Patel got appointed to office, his picture fell off the wall.
That's right.
And
That's right.
I'm just thinking about that now, and I'm like, holy shit! Was
about
that the curse?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Some people just write this stuff off. I think they're interesting. Maybe they mean nothing, but it's weird in retrospect when you think about this stuff for sure. Well, hey, thanks for calling in with those stories. We appreciate it, man.
Definitely.
Thanks,
But hey,
yeah.
if you guys want to hear a really awesome album, you should check out our album. It's called Sybil the Soothsayer. You can find it at copiumpoppies.com.
Sick. Say it again.
Okay, the album is called Sybil the Soothsayer. We are Copium Poppies, and the website is copiumpoppies.com.
Sick. Awesome, man. Thank you.
Yep.
Have a good night. Are you a Danny Carey fan as a drummer?
Yes,
Yeah.
immensely.
A great drummer.
The dude is phenomenal.
Crazy good drummer. I love Tool.
And one of my old bands back in Chicago covered Stinkfinger live for one of the shows that we were doing, and I got to spend a couple weeks learning all the ins and outs of his fills and stuff like that. And his songs are so fun to play. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's someone I like watching his interviews a lot. The Rick Beato interview he did is so good. Just listening to him talk about drums and all that stuff is. Tool is great.
It was
great
just
band.
that whole thing too that they just did. Was it Ozzy's last concert where
Yes.
he was there, and it was him, Travis Barker, and Chad Smith all just drum soloing together, and I was like,
Yeah, those are 3 pretty good drummers.
yeah,
I've
they're
heard them.
3 of my favorites.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. And I actually, when I managed a tattoo shop for 45 years in
45.
45 years, 4 to 5 years in New York. Shout out to Graceland Tattoo. We were down the road from Alex Gray's house where he would do all these weird workshops. I never got to go, but you drive by and there's art all over the place. And some of the tattooers that I was at the tattoo shop with, they'd go and do art classes with Alex Gray, which I always thought was awesome because you can't think of Tool and not think of Alex Gray and all that artwork. So sick. Well, let's do another caller.
Yeah. So, Robert, I see you. I see the turmoil that you've gone through, and you finally made a decision to come on the show. So I am going to bring you on the show. So let's get him in here without further ado.
Turmoil.
Robert.
Oh, bye. I'm back.
What is up?
Hey again.
Hello. What's going on?
All right, so I got more follow-up to the story I had last time.
Want to remind everyone the story? And
Is
then
this
give us a follow-up.
different Robert? Did I just bring in a different Robert completely?
Oh God, which Robert do you think I am? Let's go with that.
Well, this would have been Robert in chat saying he was going to call in.
That's me.
Okay.
Okay, all right, just making sure because I'm like, damn it, how did that happen? Go on, brother.
Yeah, give us a refresher. let
All right,
everyone know what's up.
when
and
I
then-
got possessed.
Yes. Well, give us like a little, like, let everyone know just a little bit in case they missed the possession story.
Okay, this happened in April of 2022. So last time I said August, but it was April.
Okay.
And it was right back after my return to faith for about,
Yes.
this happened about 2 weeks after I returned to faith.
Right.
And then I had this entity, or I was just listening to worship music. And then I just felt this fire in my chest. And it was pretending to be the Holy Spirit. And because throughout my whole life, throughout scripture, it's like Christians can't be possessed. But I've learned through the experience that there's a little asterisk next to that that says, unless God allows it. Like in the book of Job, where Satan accuses God of having a hedge of protection around Job, and then God just allows it to test him. So it's like, this is one of those things where it's like an act of faith. It's like, do you trust that God is good? And so even though he allowed that to happen to me, do I charge him with any evil? And I don't. So
And I
this
just want to say, like, I don't think Job was possessed. I think he was like almost damned by the
correct.
devil.
He was
right?
not possessed, but bad things were allowed to happen to him.
Yeah, it was a huge test, which he
Same
passed.
thing, same vein as that.
Okay.
Wait, was he the one that God smited? Was he like
Basically,
No.
well,
Job
not
was the
smited,
most
but
righteous man of his day.
he was like God's most perfect servant, basically,
Yeah.
right? And then he murdered all of his children and all of this.
he allowed the devil to do it, and but the devil was like, I bet I could turn your most faithful subject against you.
Right.
He'll curse you to his face.
Yeah, and then he didn't, even though like it was boils, it was loss of all his wealth, his house, his family. It's a brutal story. It's a
But
great story.
but he still wouldn't curse God even in
Still
the
wouldn't
face of
curse
all
God.
of
Correct.
Right.
And the funniest joke I heard from that is that's how you know the devil is really evil, because he did all that evil to Job, and he didn't take his wife.
I thought he did.
No, the wife he kept the wife. That's the joke.
Some
She kept
might
nagging
argue
him.
that the wife was left to torture him further, but
Correct.
but I
That's the
digress
joke.
from that.
Nice. That's a marriage joke from Brandon.
Zinger.
Amazing.
Zing, zing.
Okay, so I do remember that story. I'm sure other people do who are listening, who are listening to that episode now. You said you had an update for us.
Well, it's not an update. It's like I've only told you 20% because for the sake of time.
Okay.
Man.
So this happened. So after I told you about the false miracle, because I thought at the time it was a miracle, but it was just the enemy deceiving me. So even like if our roles were reversed and you were telling this story to me, I wouldn't believe you. So if you don't believe me, that it's all good. But it happened to me, and I just want to tell the truth.
Of course.
Because I don't want to be like the spook caller. Like that guy was full of bullshit.
Oh, the guy who said he worked
The
for the government.
19-year-old Canadian.
19-year-old Canadian. The kid who said he worked for the government hunting monsters.
His name was Mick with an M.
The funny thing about that story is that he told us that whole story, which, seems suspicious. And then 2 weeks later, there was that whole story that the New York Post put out about spooks that work for the Pentagon that hunt monsters. Which,
Are you starting to think that this guy
No.
was one of them?
I think he was probably part of some PR campaign to seed these stories into the paranormal podcast world to legitimize the story that they were going to put out.
I mean, again, man, he lost me at Belugasphere. He's gonna have to recover from that if I'm gonna find anything.
Well, Robert,
he says real.
Now's your chance to tell us your the next part of your story. Then.
Well, this happened 2 days after it. So I went to bed, and there was a lady who called in a few weeks ago that talked about demon dreams. So this is her saying that kind of made me want to tell the story.
Okay.
So I went to bed, and it was the most vivid dream I've ever had in my life. And no drugs. I don't mess with that crap.
Okay. Good.
But I went to bed, and then there was these menacing, like, looking creatures. Have you guys seen It? Not It. Spawn.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know the clown's face, solid blue?
Yeah.
So there's these beings. They had solid blue faces, white hair, soulless eyes, red and black jumpsuits. And they were going house to house. And like they were like invulnerable. Nobody, like if you were to attack them, they would just overpower you and just dominate you. But they would be going to believers' houses, dragging people out, and then they had these yellow guillotines they would be carrying. It looked like squares or like welded together. They were yellow, and then they would put it on the pavement like they were portable.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would line up these families, and they would kill the innocence based. They would kill based on innocence, where the father would be watching his youngest die, so forth and so forth, and the wife die, and then they'd kill the dad. So there's these beings going house to house, dragging people out in the dead of night, and then beheading them. And then the criteria is they would kill Christians or believers. And so they would be going house to house, and I'd be watching this throughout my dream. It's like, and so it would keep going and going and going, and then I'd just be watching these families getting just pure evil happening. Nothing I can do about it. And then when it finally got to my house, that's when the dream ended, and I woke up. And then I woke up and like panicked, like I thought they were literally at the door. And this never happened to me in my life. Like I don't have vivid dreams like that. It was more like it felt like a vision. So to me, that is like what the enemy thinks of you. So if you don't believe in demons, they hate you. They despise you. Even people that are a part of their kingdom that they use, they hate. They want you to not know God and go to hell with them. That's how much they despise you.
I mean, yeah. While you're telling me that story, it just made me think of real life events that have happened. You're talking about mass beheadings, and
I was going to say, we all know people that have beheaded other people in the name of religion.
oh yeah, I mean, and I don't know if this one is religion based, but it was the rape of Nanking, where the Japanese were doing it to the Chinese, and they had decapitation contests. I mean, that's not even the worst of what was going on out there. But just thinking of like evil on Earth. What happens with these violent times. For those who don't know, and you're interested, go look up what happened at the rape of Nanking. It's horrendous. And it's kind of similar to what you were saying, not so much with guillotines. I think they were using swords, but just devastating families.
Like these guillotines were yellow. They put on the pavement, and then they used their feet to bring down the blade. Like it had a little foot thing on the side of it, whereas the person's head end, then they kick it down with their foot.
And this happened, you said this happened recently or 2 days after?
2 days after the possession. So back in 2022.
And so so your interpretation is that it's more about telling you what evil is, what it wants to do, like what its goal is? Did you have another way of looking at that as well?
Well, that's how I took it, is that this is how much, like, you know, the saying that you don't hate the news journalists enough?
Oh yeah.
Same thing with that. You don't know how evil these things are. You can take the most evil, sinister, black-heart person like Mao or Putin or Hillary Clinton, these evil people, and it's got nothing on what like the demons are, like how much they utterly despise you, that they want to ruin your life. Even if you like call them God or submit to them, they hate you.
Yeah. I mean,
and it's real.
Yeah, and I just keep thinking of how this evil manifests in real life, and thinking about last week with 6'7" Kevin on here. He was talking about these basically death cults and the cartels who view that the violence and death they cause actually creates their own miracles through their religion. So like this idea does manifest in the real world, even if people who might not believe in religion at all, we can clearly point to moments where things like this happen. And, we live in this, it's as bad as it is, we still have this luxury that we're pretending that we're not in a total violent dystopia, which I think we are, but it can get so much worse. And, just thinking about what's going on just south of us in Mexico, thinking about what happened not that long ago I guess that was in the 40s.
And the Congo beheadings, you heard of that one?
Congo beheadings. I mean, what's going on in Africa right now? There's a genocide against Christians. They're going into churches and killing hundreds and hundreds of Christians in churches. It's wild,
And I did missions work in Zambia, and that's right below the Congo. And they were telling us, like, Zambia, I think, was founded from people that left Congo, and that's how they founded their nation. But they tell us, like, stories of the warlords, like they cut people's legs off and feed it to them.
Yep. It's awful. Just awful stories. So evil is here. You don't have to attach it to any theology to understand that people become monsters, and it's terrifying. You can look at what the Soviets were doing to, I think it was the Ukrainians during the starvations and when they were imprisoning them. So bad, to the point where people were trying to take their own lives in horrible, horrible ways. So yeah, it's awful. It's a awful, awful vision. And appreciate you calling and sharing that with us, though.
All right,
As
so
dark as it is.
if Phil is listening, he needs to start his own show and call it All That Explains Podcast.
He might be, and we will let him know if he's not.
Yeah, Phil usually watches the show after he gets back from IRL. Him and his girlfriend love the show, apparently. So shout out to those guys.
Yes, yes. You said all that explains. Is that what you said?
Yeah, All That Explains.
Perfect. Awesome.
And Shane, I wanted to ask, could you ever tell us one of your drug trip stories?
Oh, I have. They're not good. That's why I don't do them anymore. You know, I think the one that comes to mind is just like taking mushrooms, and I wish I hadn't, and collapsing after like 20 or 30 minutes.
The same thing happened to me.
Really?
Yeah.
On shrooms?
Like one of the first times I ever took them, I ate like an eighth, and we rode the L train downtown to go get like cheesesteaks. And I peaked right before we got off the train, and I collapsed in between the train and the platform. And my friends had to come back up and pick me up, and I was limping around kind of and couldn't really see. I was super dazed. My legs were heavy, all this other stuff. I peaked really, really hard, apparently.
Oh, goodness.
And the first two people to come walking up to us were Chicago cops.
Of course.
And, fucking quick goat thinking. I was like, oh, I've got narcolepsy. It's fine. And we just walked down the stairs, and it was, that was a whole thing.
I regret doing all that stuff, but one of the worst times was drinking. This is horrible. Drinking like 2 bottles of Robitussin and then basically going blind.
Robo-tripping.
And then we got in a car, and this is terrible, and drove around this part of New York called Seven Lakes Drive in the Harriman State Park. And we thought we were trapped in a time portal because all the roads looked the same. And I think we spent the whole night out there. We might have been lost in a portal, but it was horrible. It was just stupid in these small towns with nothing to do and no money to do anything. So terrible times, and it's I don't recommend it.
Because I still got a whole bunch of more crazy stuff, but I'll like drip feed it. I'll call back in later.
No, please do call back. We want to try to get to other callers as always, but you are always welcome to call back and tell us more.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, man.
Oh, last thing, Brandon, would you ever tell us the poltergeist story?
The poltergeist story.
Do you
The
know
one
it?
that Tim always never tells us, but you have to know because you work there.
He might have to get clearance.
I was gonna say if it's a Tim story without Tim's express written approval on an NDA.
Do you know what they're talking about?
Right now, no.
Okay.
It's possible that maybe I just haven't heard it formally named.
Tim has mentioned.
Always talks about there's this poltergeist story that's really personal, but I can't talk about it. It's like, come on, why are you talking about
that happened
that?
here.
It
Yeah,
took
he
place
said it
here.
happened here. It's real personal.
Like
Okay,
somewhere-
so this is probably before my time because I haven't heard tell of this at all
I don't
yet.
know. He told us. I was on the show where he mentioned it. We did. I think it was the Culture War with Rhett Burleson and Tony Merkel. He mentioned it, and I'm like, what? Is
Yeah,
he
because
talking
I've seen you in chat bring this up a couple of times, and I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Poltergeist story.
Maybe
So
some
I don't
point.
think I've caught wind of this yet, but maybe I can try to.
Yeah, I don't know
inside.
it, but we should definitely try to get it.
I'll see if I can probe for some information later
Yeah.
this week, buddy.
He said he
And
did it. I'm
Would
sorry.
you call Mary the ghost of Cass Castle?
Yep, exactly. He said Tim said he didn't want to tell anybody because it might have been like personal stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
So maybe there's a way we can get it out of him and keep privacy.
I'll see what I can do, but I can't make promises. It's Tim. So
Just redact the names.
Yeah, we'll do a redacted version. We'll try. But awesome. Thank you, man.
yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you,
buddy.
guys. Take care.
Have a
You
good night.
too. Portable yellow guillotines would be a good name for a band.
I actually saw somebody put in chat that Phil and the rest of us should start an ICE team and call it All That Detains.
Oh,
and
that's
I was
great.
like, that's
great.
That's really good,
I
actually.
love it. Definitely, I recommend watching the Culture War episode Phil and I did on Friday with Colonel Kurtz, who's been a guest on this show. That was fun. We talked about Epstein, and I went into my conspiracy world. Phil kept us grounded, and Kurtz had her angle on it and like the PR disaster that it's been. But that was a really fun episode. Lots of fun. I still think he's alive.
Yeah, and speaking of, we got Culture War finally coming up this weekend. Washington, D.C. at DC Comedy Loft. Grab tickets if you still can. There are going to be some bangers. And I believe we are trying to plan outings and stuff for afterwards. So come out, have a drink with us, hang out. We're going to be in D.C. for the next 3 Saturdays.
Wow.
Doing this show.
And who's on the next one? Is the one coming up to
I gotta
Gavin
look
McGinnis?
because everything's gotten kind of switched up. So I don't know what the lineup for this weekend is yet.
Okay.
It was set in stone and then it wasn't, and then something happened with Antifa, and then that all got canceled, and then it was back on again, and they're like, "Oh, whoops, hey, we lied." Jokes on us.
Crazy.
And then it's back on again. So all of those people that went out and rebought your tickets, thank you so much for doing that. We know it's been a pain in the ass, but we're looking at a pretty good show for this weekend, and we're all super stoked to get it done. So
Yeah. I think it's Gavin McGinnis this weekend and Alex Stein.
I think it is actually Gavin.
Matan.
Yeah, but that I don't know how that's working. I think Tim might be doing his show too.
Oh wow.
On Saturday, so it's going to be a whole
Sick.
thing. But yeah, these I believe will air the following week on Fridays.
Awesome.
So keep an eye out for those. I believe those should air like 3 weeks. So you should have 3 weeks in a row where you can watch the show even if you can't make it out to DC to see it. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be dope. And as always, like, subscribe, follow, share. We are here Monday through Thursday from 10 p.m. to 12 Eastern time. So thank you all for hanging out. Thanks to everybody that came over from IRL. It's been hanging out. We appreciate it. And let's get back on the phones. We got about another 50 or so minutes.
Let's
get
do
some
it.
callers. So I saw James in chat saying he really wanted to share his story. So we're going to bring James in next.
We don't happen to see the chef, do we?
The chef actually just got here. So we'll bring him on next. James, you're on the show. What is up?
All right. Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can. Welcome to the program.
All righty. Sorry, I'm just using an awkward microphone. I don't know how it sounds. I apologize.
It's not too bad. You got some background noise
All right.
going on.
Creed
Can
in
you
the
turn that
background?
down?
Did you hear Creed?
Yeah, that's my children. I'm sorry, guys. I got
Okay.
family trying to keep me awake tonight. I got to take my medicine because I got an infection,
Oh man.
and I can't afford to fall asleep. So they're
Oh.
kind of my stay up thing, you know?
Yep.
Well, hopefully we can keep you up for a little bit longer. What's going on outside of that?
All righty. Well, I'll get into it. I'm calling on because I have a story to share that I think other people would find interesting, and it corroborates with other stories that has happened throughout history. It goes back as far as Mesopotamia.
Really?
And yes, I only know this because of the descriptions that I have that I witnessed and seen, and the information that I've acquired through doing my own research, and some of it's partially asking AI to help me because it's obviously easier to get some information like that. But anyways, I'll just go right into it. When I was a kid, I live out here in the Quad City area. I don't know if you guys know that area or not, but it borders Illinois and Iowa, right along the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
And we have really old homes. And my grandparents, they used to love, well, they still do, but living in Victorian style homes. And I was a little kid, and I'm sorry, it just, when I talk about it, kind of gets me shook because it's carried with me my whole life.
Yeah,
And
take your time.
it has really affected me to a point where when I was young, I had a deep seated depression. And that's a whole nother story, but it all is connected to this because I seen something and I tried telling people about it. And when you get told, like when you get feedback from others that's not positive, it really weighs on the mental.
Oh yeah, totally.
Anyways, my grandparents had this room that I would sleep in. And for some weird reason, they had these 3 mirrors that were pointed let's say the bed's up against the wall. I had this bed that was up against the wall. There was a door on my left, a door on my right, and a door in front of the bed. It was like a 3-doored room, and they had mirrors pointing on each door. The door on my left was a bathroom, had a mirror on it. The door in front of me was the door out to the hall that splits into the long hall. You go to the right, it's a living room. You go to the left, it's weird. It's sorry, it's an old 1800 home.
Mhm.
But and then there was another door on the right, and it had a mirror. When I was a kid, I was going to bed, and I turned, and this thing that the only thing I can describe it as is like a Gengar like being. It didn't make a noise, but I could see it, and it charged at me, and it had large teeth. And as soon as it got my initial shock and expression, which was just this fear that I still to this day, I don't think I've ever felt anything like it. And I've almost died multiple times in my life, and I still to this day have not felt a fear like that. As soon as he got my reaction, he set his hands on his stomach and let out a belly laugh with no noise. And as soon as I had registered all of that, I turned away. I screamed for my grandma. I said, "Grandma, grandma, 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 grandma." I didn't stop. She came in. She rubbed my head. She soothed me. And I told her about everything that was happening. And she told me, "It's okay, baby. Go to bed, whatever." Anyways, years later, I talked to my grandmother. I asked her about this. And this is important. I asked her if she remembered this, because this was so, like, you would like, it's like I witnessed someone get murdered. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
the shock. I was shaking, petrified. And you would think my grandmother would remember this. And there's a reason why that's important, because when doing my research, I learned more about demons and their intentions, and how they can deviate you from God's will at a very young age. And it really did just that early on. It set a huge tone for me, and I didn't really get better until later down the road in my life. Uh, when it comes to, like, just general overall, like, well-being or whatever. Um, and I've never really told this story to a whole lot of people. And the people that I have told this story to, it's always a blank to them, because now I don't know how many people have experienced it, but I know people have experienced these things, and it dates all the way back to Mesopotamia. And I have um, conversations with Grok when I was early on. It was like Grok like 1.0 or something. It was early on Grok,
Mhm.
but I went into detail with it, and the kind of perspective that it gave was very I don't know. It kept me shook.
What?
It put things into perspective that I wasn't able to see for myself. It was like seeing something from the outside looking in,
What did it
and it
tell
was
you?
able to it. Well, here I could pull it up on my thing, but it'd just be a whole long thing. But the summary is that it was interested. It told me that it was interested in the intentions of the demon, that it had motives, that it was the Grok AI was curious about my experience, and that it corroborated it with historical accounts, and that the intentions of the demons were to sow a seed in me that would affect me, not just then, like not at that moment, but later on down the road. And it made so much sense when I heard that perspective, when I could hear that from the outside looking in, hearing that, like, when you're a child, the veil is so thin. You can see things that other people can't. Usually, yeah. Oh, yeah. Someone just mentioned Pokemon. Okay, Pokemon in the chat. Gengar. Look up Gengar. That's the only
I actually brought it
Pokemon
up.
in all.
I brought it
Yeah.
up and I showed
Okay.
everybody what it looked like a few minutes ago.
Gengar is the only Pokemon in all of Pokemon that's specifically made to scare children or to go after children. It targets children specifically. And that is the description of what I seen. It was like Gengar like, being.
Now, was this, did he happen? So if I understood you correctly when you explained the mirror setup, did this take place in one of the infinity projections that the two mirrors were on opposing
I see.
sides were
I don't know
showing?
anything much about all of the details on stuff like that. I just know what happened to me, and I've heard
Like,
stories
which
about how
mirrors did you see
mirrors.
him in? Like, was it the
They
one that
were.
was
They were
facing the
like.
hallway, or was it the two that
It
were
was.
facing each
It
other?
wasn't in the mirror. That's the thing. Is I feel like it was a. It was. It used. It used light, the bending of light, to project itself. It was like a hologram. It was as if. It was as if because I was young, I could I could see something that I wasn't allowed to see. You know what I mean?
Well, it's
Like
also too. There's a huge thing about demons and mirrors, and that demons actually use the mirrors to possess humans when they look at themselves in the mirror, because they're able to catch a glimpse of their weakness. So they're not apparently there's other things where they're not allowed to see. Remember we were talking about Constantine?
Yep.
That's how he captures that one demon in the beginning of the movie into a mirror and then throws the mirror out the window and shatters it.
Yep. Yep.
So there's a whole thing on demons and mirrors you should look up if you didn't know that that was a thing, because maybe that has something to do with what you saw.
How did you or what did you find when you said there was connections between what you saw in Mesopotamia?
the descriptions of the demons and
Mm-hmm.
the important fact that it targets children and
Okay.
not anything else other than that. That it specifically goes after kids, and that its intentions are to deter them from God's will, to plant seeds in the mind of in the mind and the hearts of them, for them to either doubt God or for them to lose faith in that, like what happened to me. Just numerous accounts of people telling me, like, yeah, man, you were just a kid, or yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man, you were probably staying up too late or played too many video games, or you just had a crazy imagination. And I don't think it's any of those, because I mean, yeah, I do have great imagination. I do, but I know when I see something, and I know when I feel something, and it evoked an emotion out of me, and the feeling that I felt is so real, and it stayed with me my whole life to this day.
Have you,
I've never seen anything like it, but I have had experiences since becoming a father. I had a dream. Uh, I was suspended in darkness. There was nothing around me, and I felt as if there was this demon talking to me, talking about how he wanted to come for my daughter. But since I have faith, the only thing that I could think of was Jesus. But me being as arrogant and stubborn as I am, I even thought in my heart, in my dream, I said, even if Jesus isn't going to help me, you're going to have to kill me, because it's my daughter, and I'm going to put myself in front of my daughter. I'm going to put myself in front of my kids.
mm-hmm.
So, and then after that, I my I haven't had any problems with anything demonic. We've had small little things in the house, like I've caught a glimpse of a woman in a white dress walking from left to right in a mirror once, but I brushed that off. Um,
Is this in an old
and just
house? Is this in another old
no,
house?
no, 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 no. This wasn't an old house. This was just something on the passing
Right.
by. It was something just that I saw at peripheral. I have had one other instance. Again, in my grandparents' home. It was a different home, another Victorian home. They got a bunch of them out here on the Iowa side, out by the river, overlooking the river in the downtown area. Um, I was sleeping, and I went to wake up, and this was like going into the early morning hours, 6:30. I go to roll over, and there's this angel, like your basic common description of an angel, what you would think an angel, like your normal white wings, whatever. But it was dirty, and it was uh, beaten, and it was sobbing, and it was crying in the corner of my room. And I did the exact same thing that I did when I seen the demon. Was I just turned away, and I rolled away, and I just kind of closed my eyes, and I just tried to like hope it would just go away.
And what happened?
It went away. It went away. Like I prayed and it went away. And I mean, I don't know. Say what you will. It could have just been me waking up, dude. Like that one. It could, that one could be whatever. But
Right. It's a sad image, regardless.
yeah, no. Yeah, yeah. Very sad image. Um, Thank you guys. I do appreciate you guys for having me
course.
on here and letting me
Yeah.
rant and ramble.
No.
I know I'm probably like tangent
No.
extreme.
Thank
but-
you. Thank you for the phone call. Good luck with everything you got going on. And
Oh, dude. Yeah.
if you have
for
anything
sure.
else come up, give us a call.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
See ya.
And thank you for your guys' time. And I
course.
just want to say, I've been watching you guys for a while. I've been watching you since you've been on Timcast. You
Thank you.
guys are great, and I appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, man.
that.
Have a good night.
You all take care.
You too. When I worked at the auction gallery, there were people there's like a group of people who collect mirrors that they think might have been in rooms of people who died because they thought the spirit was trapped.
I was gonna say the first thing I would have done was I would have thrown out all those fucking mirrors.
Mirrors are weird.
I'm done. They're
Yeah.
coming down.
There's definitely something going on. Those people who collected those mirrors were also bizarre.
And since we were on the topic of mine and Shane's terrible experiences with psilocybin, they tell you not to get locked in the mirror.
So true. Don't look at yourself.
Because you start to lose yourself in your own pupils moving, and it just creates almost an infinity pool. Like you were looking at a mirror that was looking at a mirror. You start just going through these cycles,
Yeah.
and I'm now reliving dramatic drug memories.
Yeah, we're having flashbacks. How are we gonna get out of this room?
Oh my
Glass cage
God.
of emotion. Well, let's get to the chef.
Yeah. So Shane has been calling out for this caller to get in here. He told me before the show, keep a lookout for this name, and if you see it, bring him on. So we are going to do just that.
The chef. We had, I think, man, 2 or 3 months ago now. Can't keep track.
And we're about 30 minutes out, and there's like 15 people in here. So thank you
No.
guys for calling. We're not going
Wow.
to get to you all tonight, but we will as soon as we can during the rest of the week.
Wow.
And,
Thank you guys so much.
Big,
Please.
big welcome to the chef. You are on the show. What is up?
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We can.
Oh,
So
great to be back on, man.
it's great to have you back. We got the chef. You were a chef at the Bohemian Grove for quite some time. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, did you get a call or messages about your appearance?
Yeah, well, it's kind of weird because everybody I know in San Francisco, I have their phone number saved. I was getting these random numbers from like San Francisco and Santa Rosa calling me, just hanging up. So you never know.
Interesting. So, okay, you are the one who sent me this Bohemian Grove update that I read earlier. What do you think about that before we get into some other stories?
Well, first of all, I have to say, happy post cremation of care. It was this Saturday, so
That's right. We made it.
you can all wonder what cares they gave away this year. But
That's right.
so about that story, I actually remember sitting on a board meeting. I want to say it was in like 21, and they're constantly being sued for like labor wages and whatnot. But I do remember this being brought up about this guy suing because a member asked him to wash his whitey tighties. And like at first I thought it was a joke, but they kept talking about it. And I remember I was talking to the AGM. He's like, dude, imagine like this guy comes up to you, it's like, make sure you get all those skid marks out.
Oh,
It's wild.
oh,
So I definitely think it happened.
wow. Did you ever see the Cokes or the one Coke?
I don't think so, but you can definitely see that type of person. I mean, so I would say on property right at the Grove, and they just walk around in their whitey tighties. So I could totally see this happening. And I remember before you asked me about women work there, they do, but at the actual campsites, it's only men allowed. So they're male attendants, and they're like high school kids, college kids. So you got young Alex, good looking guy, and just this old man walking up to him with a sack full of his dirty underwear. I could just totally picture it.
It's disturbing.
That sounds disgusting.
It's very disturbing. So you had some other stories you're saying you had about your time there.
Well, I was just two fun little stories. So I remember you asking about security. So they are guarded by the San Francisco SWAT team. It's a team of 8. They do like 10-hour shifts, 4 and 4. Super cool guys. So I stayed at Bromley. So they have their own fire station, their own little hospital. They're just like old cabin buildings, but they have like a fire truck. They have an ambulance. They have staff there. And so every night, like around midnight, they have a big fire pit. So they're all out there. They're just hanging out, along with like the heads of security of the actual grove. Now they were drinking, not the SWAT guys. They never drink, but the big thing at there, they love to drink Manhattans. So we'd walk by. There's a couple of us that would stay on property, and they would always invite us over to have Manhattans with them. It was always fun. The SWAT guys are super cool. They had the armored truck there. They would let us like look inside. We got to put on the night goggles, the night vision goggles and stuff. One time I remember a drone in the middle of the night was flying over the Grove. The SWAT guy just walks to the truck, pulls out a rifle, just shoots the drone out of the sky. It was awesome. It was so cool to see. It was a lot of fun to hang out with those guys. And then another fun quick story. I'm trying to be quick.
Oh, you're good.
So this upcoming Saturday, which is like the ending of the Grove, Sunday is the last day, but everybody leaves. There's no dinner service. Everybody leaves. So Saturday night, all the management gets together. They have what's called the Star Ride. I remember I told you about they have these like old like 50 styles flatbed trucks with bench seating. And so you'll pack up a cooler with a bunch of beers and you go up this like big old mountain basin and it's beautiful. There's no light pollution. It's just like you just gaze at the stars and whatnot. And I'd only been up there one time. It was like my 3rd year. I was finally invited in. They're very cliquey. And I was like kind of bummed out because there's like 15 of us and there's only like a case of beer. I was like, well, this is kind of lame. And I remember one of the guys was handing all these water bottles. So I grabbed the water bottle. I was like, oh man, I'm thirsty. I chugged the water bottle. I've done a lot of drugs in my life. I have never been that messed up in my life.
Uh-oh.
And I'll never forget everybody just laughing. I don't know if it was like GHB or what. It got real to the point where I felt very uncomfortable. It was kind of like ecstasy, but way more intense, just wild. And I remember like they all kept wanting to go back to this one cabin. And I was like, I don't feel right. I want to go back to my cabin. And I remember they were all kind of like pissy about it. Like I was being the little girl about it. I was like, I don't feel cool with this. So they drove me back to my cabin and they all went to this other cabin. So whatever happened there, I don't know, man.
Did they all drink
Maybe
it?
Everybody was drinking it. Everybody.
How long did it take to wear off?
I mean, I was feeling weird in the morning after.
Oh, that's weird.
Like, I mean, like you're saying, you've done shrooms and stuff. It can last a while. It was weird, man. Like, I have never done GHB. I'm just imagining that would be like almost feeling like not paralyzed, but like kind of just, I guess how people would describe like a K-hole or something. I don't know. It was bizarre.
And who was this with?
All the upper management of dining. So there's like 15 of us.
Wow.
You got the GM was not involved, but the AGM, your F&B director, all the chefs, all the like important people with like the whole hospitality part.
Were you guys forced to sign like NDAs or anything like that for
No,
working
so
there?
I told Shane about that. I never had to sign anything, which is really weird. I mean, I stayed at the actual club. I would stay at the club in the Grove for a couple of months at a time, but I lived at the club for like 8 months at one point. Like, and I was telling Shane, like, it would just be the AGM staying there, myself, and there's an overnight security guard. It's 7 stories, 4 above, 3 below. It's a really cool place. Like, I took lots of pictures, but there's some areas that I couldn't get to.
I forget. Did you say you still know people out there?
Oh yeah, I've been in contact with people. They're there right now for sure.
And how's it going out there now? You hear any reports?
I mean, just like the same old, same old.
And when
Like
you say,
it's just like,
when you started the conversation, you said post cremation of care. For those who don't know, that means they just burned the owl like a few days ago, right?
yeah, the effigy was burned on Saturday at 9 o'clock.
I'm sorry,
That's
they
what
don't
they
burn
did.
the owl, right? They burn
It's an effigy.
right.
There's like this wooden raft, and they put this like fake looking body on it, and they push it out into the middle of the lake, and they shoot these arrows, like flaming arrows at it. It blows up.
It's like a
And that's
Nordic
when they
funeral.
announce that all
Exactly.
their cares are gone. You can hear, the devil in the background screaming, "No, not again!" Blah blah blah. And then
And
there's these guys in this like black knight armor with torches, and they march around declaring that they defeated Satan once again. It's wild. It's wild.
and we just talked about owls a few calls
And I was
ago.
just gonna say that's so weird because I remember you asked me before what I thought about the owls,
Yes.
and I was kind of thrown off for a second. I said Molech, which it is, but I do remember they were talking like the owl to them is about wisdom, right? So I think that plays a lot into it.
Yeah, dude, I forgot all about the images you shared with us. Somewhere on this,
Wow, you got to show
somewhere,
Brandon, man.
yeah, somewhere on our channel under like the posts, I think we have photos from him from the place where he stayed at, and there are
Yeah, so I would
weird
say on
photos.
the third floor,
Yep.
there's like 25 rooms. Um, Members stay there sometimes, but some of them are like conference rooms where they do luncheons and stuff and have meetings. But they're like the whole third floor is just wild paintings and pictures of just weird stuff. Like you remember the one with the puppets
Mm-hmm.
and the one with the room service
That's what I
with
was
the
thinking of. There's an image.
yeah.
There's a painting of a bunch of different owls, I believe, walking into a room. And was it your belief or maybe other people's belief that the
So the whole rumor was like there's like four different there's like a nurse, a doctor, like a lawyer guy with a
Yep.
cigar. When they're all coming out with like wads of cash, and there's like this room service part with a silver lid on it. And the rumor was that it's supposed to like represent like here's a child sacrifice and who's going to pay the top money or some weird stuff like that.
Right.
If that's true, I don't know, but it's just weird.
It's a weird painting.
And that's just like right in the hallway. Like
Yeah.
it's not like it's in a room or something. You walk down the hallway, it's right there. Like there's this one portrait that's got to be like 8 feet tall, and it looks like a ancient Zeus, and he's like totally naked. I told you about the volcano. Remember the volcano?
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah. It's weird,
weird stuff.
and now thinking about those paintings, and you said, it's weird how they're out in public. It then reminds me of, I just watched last week the Daryl Cooper Tucker interview. He's talking about how John Podesta had all these really dark, strange, sort of demonic, violent paintings just out and about. And
Right? Yeah, it's just like they want to show
they
it.
flaunt it.
And like I said, this is on the third floor, so only members are supposed to be there.
Mhm.
But we were allowed to stay there because the only people that had rooms there, uh, myself, we would have a contract chef that would come in all the time.
Yep.
Had been working them for years and years. He would have a room. The AGM stayed on property, and the executive chef at the time had his own room. But that's it. And the other, 21, 22 rooms were for members or, for whatever. A lot of times, like, if they were doing an event and one of them got too drunk, like they would just stay the night. Or if like during the holiday events during November and December, a couple of them, from another country or way far away, they would stay at the club, but not a lot of them. So
Weird stuff going on out there. Who really knows? But you survived somehow.
yeah, for now, no, yeah, I mean,
Without
it was
having to
weird
wash
with the
any
phone calls,
underwear
but-
too, I hope.
What's that? I didn't hear him say.
You never get tapped to wash underwear, did you?
No, that was
No, the chef is
dodged a
important.
bullet.
The chef is an important, integral part of Bohemian Grove.
Until you piss off the Koch brothers and then you're washing underwear.
Yeah.
well. It was cool because like if I had some time off, like I would just wear. If you wore like a polo and slacks, you could kind of walk around, and every day they have these things they have are like lake talks, and they would have some really interesting people, authors, scientists, whatnot, and they would just be talking about all sorts of different stuff. Some
Interesting.
of it kind of weird, I guess, but some of it's like really interesting.
Do you remember anything specific?
Um,
Was Stephen Hawking
uh,
there?
Not really. I remember.
Is there
I
a
tried
client
to-
list? Is there a client list for this place?
So
Is it on
there's-
Pam
I remember
Bondi's desk?
Overlap.
I was talking to Shane about this last time. There is a members list. It is public. You can look
Holy
it up.
shit.
But the way they get around it, you have a guest list, right?
Right.
So you can invite people in. Like Shane loved my story about Guy Fieri. Like he was a guest, so he could come in, but his name's on no list. Or Zach Bryan, whatever his name is, the country singer. Like he was a guest.
Right.
They have all sorts of guests. Like if you're a celebrity, you get invited all the time.
Strange. Would you go, Brandon, if they invited you?
I would see. That's the thing. I don't know if I would go as me. I would rather go like in character and kind of just like
Right.
like show the camera around the room, but act like I'm not recording everything that's going on. I would totally infiltrate the shit out of this. You guys know I would. Just in the name of finding out what the hell is going on. Sign me up. But I feel like I would be washing underwear by the end of the night, trying to keep my good name. So I don't know.
Or worse. You have no
Or
idea.
worse. Yeah. They might dose you.
No, it was kind of funny because like at the actual club, like there are cameras, but I could pretty much be with my phone out, and it's not like I'm blatantly taking pictures. But on the third floor, there's no cameras where the members would be. So, and like I said, that's where all like the artwork is and stuff. So I would just take random pictures of like just stuff. I was like, wow, this is really weird.
It's certainly weird. Well, we appreciate you calling in, man. It's good to hear from you. And if you have anything else at all ever again, you know where to find us.
Yeah, just remember on Tuesdays they burn the monkeys.
Yeah, we're coming up on that here in about 20 minutes. It's approaching fast.
So Shane, when you make that shirt, I want a signed copy.
Oh yeah, man, you got it. We actually, Brandon and I have to talk about merch. We're just talking to the team
We've
about
been
that.
discussing the merch for this weekend for the Culture War shows, and I know I've been watching you guys in chat talking about get a shirt. So I want to try to put that together. Things move slow around here sometimes, so you're gonna have to just bear with me on that. But we're working on it.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome.
We appreciate it, man.
All right, man. You guys have a great night.
Later. Bohemian Grove. Go check out that episode. I think it's just the chef at Bohemian Grove, and it's wild stories. Guy Fieri was there.
So the Koch brothers have a compound where they're just walking around in their underwear, and
Well, just the one brother. Remember, we don't know which one. It might have been the evil twin. Are they both evil twins?
is it Coke 1 and Coke 2?
Coke 1 and
Because
2, yeah.
Coca-Cola tried that one time, and I mean,
That's
I didn't
right.
really see a difference.
Coke Zero?
Yeah. Diet Coke,
I don't know.
caffeine free. I mean, even though I think they kind of just merged Diet Coke with Coke Zero, and now it's Diet Coke because it tastes like that shitty kind of aspartame flavor now, and I hate it. I used to actually like Diet
Now
Coke.
we're getting better Coke, right? Now they're putting, is it cane sugar or something back in?
Well, I could slip another drug joke in here while we're at it and just say that we're getting way better Coke now because of all the fentanyl that ICE has uncovered and cracked down on in the last few months, which is also featured in that documentary that came out today.
Yeah.
Check that out. I watched the first hour of it. It's pretty damn good. So the cinematography alone is just this guy did a great job.
Yep. And Carter did the music for it. And shout out to Carter. He made the theme music for the show. All the various themes we
did a good job, too.
Yeah, Carter's a genius.
Yeah,
And
he's
shout
really
out to
good.
Carter. Yep. Love what he does.
We're going to get the drum set up in the attic, in the
nice.
haunted attic.
Nice.
And we're going to try to do tracking and stuff.
That's
and then
great.
hopefully we can track some spooky shit
Love
that
it.
happens.
Love
I don't
it.
know. We'll see.
Yep. I think that's great. Let's try another caller.
Yeah, we got time.
Yep.
Let's get to, all right. This is going to be a random selection, guys, because I got a lot of people in here right now. I've written all of your names down, though. So if I don't get to you tonight, again, we're sorry. We love how many of you are calling in. Thank you so much for that.
you.
And try to call back tomorrow, and I will get everybody on this list here through the show eventually, I promise.
Thank you so much for calling in. It's incredible.
So let's go to Shay Seymour. Shay, you're on Inverted World Live. What's up?
Oh, hey guys, what's up?
Hey, we're doing good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Just sitting outside on the property here, listening to
Nice.
coyotes kind
Oh,
of
nice.
hollering around me. But
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
I live in Southeast Texas, down here towards Louisiana, Galveston.
Of course, I love the
Yeah.
novel Galveston is a great novel by Nick
Oh
Pizzolatto.
yes,
Yep.
yes, a lot of freaky stuff around there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I have a couple creepy stories I wanted to tell you guys about. First off, my the house that I grew up in, my Nana was visiting for Thanksgiving, and she was sleeping in my room in my bed with me, and I'm like 9, 10 years old. And when I woke up the next morning, my mom is like, "Oh, why is Nana still asleep? Go check on her." Well, I go in there and I check, and I don't see her in the bed, and she's laying in the bathroom. And I'm like, "Oh, Nana's sleeping on the floor in the bathroom." And everybody jumps up. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, let's go check on Nana." And I don't remember about a year after that of my life. Well, turns out she had actually died
Wow.
in my bathroom.
Oh man.
My dad had to redo the whole bathroom, redo my room because I was having I guess night terrors, having some vivid dreams, not sleepwalking. I almost walked outside into the pool, and I'm being told this by my parents. Well, when she had her funeral, and I didn't know this, but shoes would get moved around the house, and you lose your shoes, fine, whatever. And I find out later on that we buried her without her shoes on. And to this day, my sister and I still live. I'm looking at the house right now. My sister lives in that house now, and the shoes get moved. Like, old shoes that you never wear that are in the back of the closet, they'll be
Hmm.
in front of the front door. And then, my sister will move them back. And, I'm like, does that not freak you out? And I'm like, why does this keep happening? And I don't know if you've ever heard of anything like that or.
Yeah, we had a caller last week who lived in a house where the ghost was, or whatever it was moving the remote control. And eventually it stopped. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've
And
heard a lot of the
That
stories.
was
is
like
happening
it?
with my grandma's Cubs hat that was sitting on the TV too.
That's right.
We thought she kept coming by and slapping it off because we
Yep.
didn't have a fan or
Yeah.
anything.
Isn't that wild? Like, just, and it still happens to this day. And I'm like, I asked my dad, he's real religious, and he's like, well, the Satan's a trickster. You never know if that's your nana or if that's, because there was like a big ordeal about her wardrobe and
Mm.
everything. And I said, okay, well, it may or may not be Nana, but who knows? But
Why did you bury her without shoes?
well, that was my parents, and I think I don't know. I guess they forgot her shoes when they brought the clothes
That's
to the,
horrible.
and it was
Wow.
I don't know why they buried her without shoes, but I found that out, years later. I didn't know that as a kid, but I always knew that my shoes were always missing, and I've had a lot of death in my family, so.
Mm.
A lot of things have happened on this property. My brother's passed away,
Mm.
and there's just been some crazy stuff going on. And y'all just mentioned the fentanyl,
Hmm.
and I had a cousin who was actually going to Austin to go to rehab, and he ended up dead at a gas station, overdosed on fentanyl. He had a
Oh.
little blue pill in his pocket, and I guess he took the other
Mm.
one. And he laid back there for 8 hours um, before the person who worked at the gas station even checked on him. She
Oh.
probably just thought he was a homeless guy, but he was 21 years old,
Mm. That
having,
is terrible.
problems in his life, and ended up overdosing on fentanyl.
So sad. I've seen
Yeah.
so many parents, especially down south, when I was in Arizona, and so many like near the border near Yuma, parents whose
Mhm.
children succumbed to fentanyl. Who had no prior drug use or anything.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Real quick, going back to that story you were telling us, when you say you don't remember a year after that, is that because you were experiencing like all this trauma of like the night terrors and everything? Or are you subscribing that
Yes.
to the death?
Yes. After she had passed, all I can remember is the stretcher being brought in. We have a really long, we have 12 acres and a pond, and the really long driveway, the ambulance taking her, and then the family coming.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I remember waking up when I was sleepwalking, and I'm walking into the back door, just walking into the back door. And I have vivid dreams, like, deja vu type dreams, like my brother, so I'll give you an example. My brother was at the casino in Louisiana because, you can't gamble in Texas. So go I-10 to Louisiana. And he had won $1,100 that night and flipped his Ford F-150 on I-10, and it flew from the vehicle, and it was horrible. But the day before that, I hadn't seen my brother in probably months, and the day before, he had come over to the house and gave me a kiss on the forehead, and I can still feel it on my forehead. And told me, oh, I'm proud of you, sis. I'll see you later. But I'd had a dream that was just deja vu. And I remember just standing there looking at him like, oh my goodness, like I've had this dream before. And I don't know when I had that dream, but I knew I'd had that dream. And it was the exact scenario. I was wearing, because it was homecoming. It was in October, and I was in the parade. And I could not believe there's a white Corvette in the driveway, Camaro Corvette, with the top down and all that. And it's just like, how am I having this dream? And this is happening. And have y'all ever had a dream where you're just living it out in real life?
Yeah, not like a full dream scene, but I sort of deja vu experiences that are connected to dreams where I'm like, I've been here before.
Yeah,
And it's
like
just very real.
I felt so like I'd been there before. And, the year after my Nana had passed away, it was just, I slept on the couch after a while because my dad, I don't know why, but they had, taken me out of my room and took out the carpet, redid the walls, everything, the tile, everything was redone in my room and the bathroom. And yeah, I'd had some at night terrors. Mom had told me, you would wake up screaming and, just all these different things. And I do get into my dreams and I can't wake up, like somebody's sitting on my chest,
Right.
just I can't wake up. And it is the most terrifying thing whenever you're in a situation where doing something that you probably wouldn't do in real life, just, and you can't wake up from it.
That's a wild story. So that happened on Thanksgiving or right around Thanksgiving?
It was before Thanksgiving. It was before, yes, because she was there visiting before Thanksgiving. Because I remember, I kind of remember us eating and all that, but it was just such a odd scenario. Why did I find her? Why did that happen to me? Why did that have to happen? But and then a year of my life, I don't even remember going to school. I don't remember any of that. And I'm 10 years old. I should remember that year, but I don't remember anything from that year. Like maybe I just deleted it from my, I don't know, deleted it from my brain.
I mean, being around death that young, even if you don't fully understand what it means, I think it does something.
Well,
to your brain.
just trauma, period. I know a lot of the stuff I went through, I couldn't wait to get older to forget.
Yeah.
And I just put it out of my mind because I never wanted to be back in that place. The whole idea was to get past it and move on and live a life outside of it. And then every now and then, 5 or 10 years goes by and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that's right. That happened. I completely forgot about that, Something triggers it.
You don't think about it and then it comes up again.
So true. Wow. Well, that's a wild story. We appreciate you sharing it with us.
I appreciate y'all taking my call. I love you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Love what y'all do there.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate it so much, and enjoy the rest of your night. Listen to those coyotes.
All right. Y'all too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
I love the sound of coyotes. I don't like when they eat my animals.
Yeah.
Where I grew up, but the sound of coyotes, I used to listen to them on the farm, mimic the police sirens going by. So police sirens go by, and all of a sudden, it's like the coyotes thought it was other coyotes. And you'd hear them 1, 2, 3, all just start mimicking the sirens. Super creepy.
Yeah.
And around October, they'd surround our house and start howling. Always
Crazy
fun.
part was my last few years in the Chicago burbs, they were starting to kind of show up. And they would wander further and further away in search of food. So they'd start, coming out for your garbage and shit like that. and you'd see them running through the neighborhood. And I remember I was at my condo a couple of years ago, and I went outside to smoke a cigarette or something, and I looked down, and there was just one standing there looking up at me, and I'm like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, what are you doing, dude? Like,
here?
get out of here!
Where did you come from?
So
Feed me."
yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
So, and it looked like he was mildly comfortable with being in that area. It looked like he didn't like spook out and run away.
Right.
So I'm sure somebody was feeding him, you know, because otherwise they usually get the hell out of there the second they're recognized. They don't play games.
Yep. Yeah, we've had a fox still trying to eat our chickens. He's ripping apart.
Yeah,
trying
foxes
so
are apparently
hard.
jerks, from what I've heard.
I think they're awesome, but they are jerks, and they're smart. And no matter what fortress I've built around these chickens, they are trying so hard to get into the chickens. These chickens must be traumatized that this monster's visiting them every night, and they're like, "What the?"
I mean, as a person who enjoys chicken, you know, 1 to 2 times a week, I got to tell you, they are delicious.
I know, I get it. I get it.
I've never eaten one raw, so I have to take a fox's word.
Well, we don't know
word
if he's
for that.
cooking them. I haven't seen him take them back home. I don't know what kind of kitchen he's got. But okay, we got 5 minutes left.
We got 5 minutes. What do you want to do?
Let's try one more caller because I know there's so many, and we'll try one more. We're supposed to be out of here by midnight, but we'll take one more. And I hope you guys call back tomorrow for those we don't get to.
All right, let's go to our homie Project Mayhem and see what he's got.
Okay.
Hello.
What's up, man? Welcome back.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. How you doing?
Good, good. Hey, I tagged you guys on a story today about alien ship that they found on Google Maps in our Antarctica.
Let me see if I can find it.
Did we
really
talk
quick.
about? We might have talked about that story. Maybe not.
Yeah,
No,
I
this
see it
was
here.
it was. I just found it this morning.
Oh,
so.
sick.
Yeah, I see it here. Let's. It's a 40-second video.
Let's check it.
Let's hang tight for a second for us, brother. We're gonna play this out.
Yep.
I'm gonna show
Okay.
everybody here. All right, let me get some volume on this really quick. Okay, this is just music. We can forego a little bit of that there.
Before they get us. Oh,
So that's a pyramid we're looking at.
or is it a craft?
They're saying it's one of the triangle ships.
Interesting. It's got a shadow.
Huh.
Yep, we've talked about this one a lot. Well,
So we think that this is one that landed?
or crashed.
Or
It's a
that
crash landed.
crashed and they had it there, but how did they relocate it so fast?
I tagged Sarge to see if he could, confirm what that is, but
Did he get
didn't
back?
reply.
He didn't get back?
No, he didn't get back to us yet.
Oh, this was at Palmer Station, you said?
Yep, Palmer Station in Antarctica.
Oh, we got to reach out to Sarge. Yeah, we got to see what's up, what he thinks. I mean, it's weird. There's so many things going on with Google Images and people finding stuff, and some of it looks real, some of it not. That could be a structure. It could be somehow they caught a
And
picture
don't get
of
us
it.
wrong, we love this. Now that we are Monday through Thursday, we need stuff to talk about. So
Yeah.
the fact that all of this shit has been happening is very exciting for us because it's really given us a lot of fuel here for the fire.
Project Mayhem, what do you think of that video?
I think it's just interesting. Another, strange. It's like you guys talk about this, so it's serendipity. The more you talk about it, the more it happens.
Yep.
It shows up in your feed. And
Yep.
I try to keep tagging you in those things when I see you guys.
Thank you.
Because I know you've been talking about it on the show. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it.
I
man.
love all these. Like we've talked about other Google image search, or they've written articles about some of these Google image searches that people find. They're like, "What is this door in Antarctica?" Or what is, there was a UFO. I think it was in this country that they thought they found, but it was weird because it was like next to a town. Were you in that? I forget. Was that you or Alex when we looked at that? But there was this weird image of what looked like a UFO, but it was near a village, and it
Was
looked
it
like
the
a
one
part
that
of
they were
satellite.
saying that no one had seen before, but it was right next to a town? Was that it was like a
Yes, you were
site
here
that
for
was
that.
there?
You were here,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we debunked that.
What?
That turned out to be some kind of structure or something that they built, like
A foundation for a satellite.
something stupid for like
Yeah.
a water tower or something like that. Like
Yep.
it was just something completely mundane and.
But it's Antarctica in this one. And
Yeah.
anything's possible in Antarctica. So yeah, we're gonna reach out to Sarge. We're gonna see what he thinks. And you reminded me of, I also got to see what updates on that kid with the plane who flew to Antarctica. Like, are they still monitoring him? Or
Yeah,
what?
I wonder what happened to that
Did
kid.
he leave? Is he in custody in Antarctica still? But
We know he owes a
sick.
bunch of money to Antarctica.
Oh yeah,
or somebody.
That's right. He was
is
fined.
finding him. Was it the government?
Yeah. Oh, that's so bizarre. It's Sarge. Another thing we'll ask Sarge. We haven't seen him in a while. We got to check in on him. Well, thank you, Project Mayhem, for that. We appreciate it, and keep tagging
Yeah,
us.
and then hey, Shane, I did send you a story yesterday about a murder here in Las Vegas. Another Vegas resident, about 40 minutes from Area 51. But I sent you it
Interesting.
yesterday. I know you get into the macabre, and
Yep.
I think you'd be interested in this story.
You, it was a DM.
I didn't DM it to you, but I can tag you in the I can tag you. I did a whole thread on it.
Okay, yeah, do that again if you don't mind, and I would like
Yeah.
to see that. I love / hate that kind of stuff, especially
Yeah,
the Vegas. Vegas is a strange, weird, beautiful place.
The victim is a good friend of mine.
Oh, no.
And they still have not found his head.
Oh no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yep. Let me know, and we'll
All right,
we'll bring
I'll
it
tag
up.
you in it.
Cool, man. Well, I'm sorry about
Yeah.
that. That's a horrible story.
Yeah, sorry for your loss, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, have a good night, sir.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. And they still haven't found his head. My goodness.
What the
How do you even
hell?
segue out of that? That's insane. When I was writing a lot of the serial killer stories, you keep meeting people who are like people who get involved in trying to figure out serial killer stories seem to have been like in the periphery of other serial killer stories. So I'm writing all the Long Island serial killer stuff for early Inverted World stories. I've just collected so many side quests from serial killers where it's like, I don't know if that's a serial killer story or what it is, but you're like, my goodness, so many people, like mothers just abducted by insane people. So we'll get into that. Wow, man. Thank you to all the callers. I'm so sorry we didn't get to everyone. I please. I almost sounded like Sergeant right there. I please. I hope you guys call back tomorrow. If you don't know about the Sergeant, you can go look up our episode with the Sergeant from the Fourth Reich from a few weeks ago.
Sergeant Peyton Cottrell.
Yep.
2.
That's right. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. It's great to be back in the studio after the weekend. Brandon, let them know where to find you.
Yeah, you can find me as always at Brando Inverted on Twix and Insta. As always, thanks for hanging out. Stay weird. And again, don't forget, like, subscribe, follow, and share the show. Shane, get us out of here.
Yeah, you guys rule. Thank you so much for calling in. Love you, all the callers. Please call back tomorrow, and we'll be back. See you guys then. Later.